We all knew that we did not want to see TJ McConnell leave the Indiana Pacers when he had his free agency come up. And the Pacers made the smart and necessary decision to go ahead and keep TJ McConnell, get him signed on a contract because last night he earned every penny of it. There's guys that you just need around that have that motor, that have that spark, that energy. TJ McConnell is really the reason the Pacers won this game last night. I'm not going to hold anything back. TJ McConnell came in and changed the game because the Pacers' starting five was not very good early in this game. I don't think a single Pacer that started the ball game through most of that first quarter that any one of them actually dominated or even outplayed their opposition. And TJ McConnell comes into the game. All of a sudden, he's just motoring around, scooting right through the defense and creating space. And he's doing things to energize the crowd, stealing the ball on the inbound pass after a bucket. I mean, that is classic TJ McConnell. And last night, he was huge as the Pacers get a game 3 victory and lead it 2-1. 81%, friends. 81% chance now that the Pacers can go on to win this series. And I think based on what we've seen on the court, I don't think we should doubt that. Everybody wanted to write off the Pacers after Oklahoma City dominated game 2. And in fact, what were the national people saying? I heard some of them saying that they think this series could be over in 5 games. And then all of a sudden they backtrack and they change their opinions after they see game 3. But the Pacers, don't count them out. Don't count them out of a series. Don't count them out of a game. What a resilient team. Last night, they got behind. They battled back. They got behind a second time, and they battled back. That's what they do. That's the Indiana Pacers. They make things a little more difficult than we probably would like them to be as a Pacers fan, but this team just believes that if they keep grinding, keep playing, that eventually the ball bounces their way, and that's exactly what happened last night as the Indiana Pacers dominated the fourth quarter and ended up beating Oklahoma City with a final score 116-107. The Pacers in that fourth quarter outscored OKC 32-18 after they trailed by 5 entering the fourth quarter. And I really thought at the very end of the third, the Pacers had a little bit of a breakdown over the last minute or two of that third quarter. And Oklahoma City took the momentum into the fourth. And I was afraid that little stretch, that 1 minute run where the Pacers had a couple of questionable shots and a turnover, I think, was mixed in there. Then Oklahoma City got a couple of late buckets in the quarter to make it a 5-point lead. And I thought, okay, this might be trouble. The Pacers might have lost all momentum heading into the key fourth quarter. But here again, we see what happens with the Indiana Pacers. They wear teams down. The Pacers believe they can win fourth quarters because, number one, they've been there in those types of games, and no lead has been insurmountable. And they just keep coming at you, and their relentless pressure throughout the game eventually takes its toll. And in the fourth quarter, 48-minute games are long. 48 minutes of basketball is a long game, and it doesn't matter that you've sat some of it. It still covers a lot of time on the court, burns a lot of energy. And I think that did affect Oklahoma City late because Oklahoma City started missing shots they were making. Their drives to the basket were like a half step slower. Miles Turner stayed right with Chet Holmgren all the way from outside the top of the key all the way to the basket and blocked his shot from the low block as he went up for the layup. That didn't happen early in this game. Holmgren got the step and beat Turner all the way to the bucket. And in fact, Miles Turner was having a horrible night last night. And then all of a sudden, he becomes part of the story, the positive story, in the fourth quarter when he comes up with a couple of huge blocks, defensive plays, hit a bucket. And, up to that point, I think through 3 quarters or so, he was a minus 15 for his time on the floor, and wasn't hitting a darn thing. I mean, could have jumped out of a boat, wouldn't have hit water. But then in the fourth quarter, game on the line, the time of the game where the fans and the media, they all remember, Miles Turner becomes a key piece to the comeback. Um, I don't know that that's what you want in your center, a guy that decides to only play at the end, but it's better to have that than a guy that doesn't decide to play at all, and gets down over having a bad night. And Miles Turner certainly had a bad night up until that last run. All right. There were some things that happened in this game that I'm like, if you're the Oklahoma City Thunder, you have to scratch your head and think, what do we need to do? We did everything we've been doing all year, and it didn't work. It wasn't enough. Last night, Oklahoma City had more 3-pointers. They had a higher 3-point percentage. They had more free throws attempted and more free throws made. They out-rebounded Indiana. When you look at the numbers last night, you could think Oklahoma City did what Oklahoma City does, and it wasn't good enough last night. What an amazing crowd. Sometimes you can just feel your television almost shaking because of the noise. You feel the chills come right through the speakers of your television set. And last night was one of those nights. What a great crowd. What energy that the Indianapolis crowd brought to game 3. I thought it was a fantastic environment. I thought it matched everything that we had seen in games 1 and 2 in Oklahoma City. And I think the fans were one of the keys to last night's victory. When Oklahoma City picked up momentum, the fans never went away. I mean, how many times did we hear the crowd yelling, defense, defense? I mean, that was all night long. And so the Pacers played some defense. I mean, they held Oklahoma City to 107 points and held them under 20 in the fourth quarter. That's huge, huge. And it was really a fun game for the Pacers and Pacers fans. You had to enjoy that one. Now, 81%, that's the number. The team that wins game 3 in a 1-1 series has gone on to win 33 out of 41 previous NBA finals. So the Pacers have very firm control right now, but a lot can be given back in game 4. The problem, the Pacers, when they have been comfortable, they've lost. Win game 1 in Oklahoma City, feel good about getting that road win. Game 2, lose. Win the first 2 games in New York. Feel good about the series, come back home, feel like, wow, we've got this sucker made. And then game 3, they lost. Cleveland won the first 2 games. Game 3, lost. Milwaukee won the first 2 games. Game 3, lost. Last night was actually the first time the Pacers have won a game 3 in any of the series they've played. But now you cannot get comfortable. You cannot crack the door open and see who's knocking with Oklahoma City, because they will take advantage. They'll bust through and take advantage. This is a good enough team. They'll come back. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander didn't have a great night last night. He torched the Pacers in the first 2 games, and last night had just 24 points. And I'm surprised because I had him pegged for at least 30. I mean, I said on the preview video that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to me was Jalen Brunson. He's going to get his 30 some way, somehow. The question is, who else do you stop? And the big three for Oklahoma City, and this is another one of those stats that Oklahoma City has to look at and think this is what we are, and it wasn't good enough. They got 24 from SGA. They got 26 from Jalen Williams last night, and got another 20 from Chet Holmgren. And but part of the key was that Holmgren was 0 for 6 from beyond the arc. Shea was 1 for 3. Jalen Williams 1 for 2. So between the three of them, just a couple of 3-pointers. Lou Dort was the 3-point shooter last night. He was 4 for 5, and I think at one point he was either 3 for 3 or 4 for 4. He either missed his last 3-point try or next to last. But he ended up with a dozen. But leading the way for the Pacers, they got 22 from Halliburton, 27 from Ben Mathurin. And we've got to talk about Mathurin. This guy played like he deserved to be mentioned right in the same class as some of the top players in this game. Athletic, big shot maker, worked hard defensively. No reservation at all. Very confident with attack, and I thought Mathurin was one of the keys. And remember, the Pacers last year didn't have Mathurin during the playoffs, and I think now we're seeing just how important he is. But last night, he was huge. He ended up 9 for 12 from the field. He was 2 for 3 beyond the arc, 27 points, 4 rebounds. Tyrese Halliburton, almost a triple-double. A rebound shy of another triple-double for Tyrese Halliburton with 22 points, 11 assists, 9 rebounds. And like I said, Miles Turner wasn't great. Turner finished with 9 points, 2 rebounds, and had a couple of them just go right off his hand. I mean, he is a bad rebounder. There were some last night where the ball went right into his hands and he couldn't reach out and grab it. I mean, the Pacers are looking at bringing Miles Turner back. He's up for free agency. And that's a decision you've got to really think long and hard about. And don't overpay for him. I mean, the guy, I think, has hit his peak. It's not going to get better from here. Miles Turner is getting slower every year. His lateral speed is almost non-existent. I mean, they will attack as soon as they see they've got a one-on-one on the perimeter against Miles Turner. And Holmgren tried it, and Turner actually stayed with him one time last night, and it turned into a very big block. But over the majority of the night, Oklahoma City was beating Turner and Thomas Bryant. What were you doing last night? But Turner is going to be a big decision for the Pacers. The Pacers have, according to Shams Charania, the Pacers have indicated they want to keep him and feel they need to have him. I'm not going to agree with that. I don't feel like they need to have him. I think he brings a unique skill set that you don't often see at the center position. And I think it's limited on how many teams that fits with, because in most cases, teams are going to expect their center to be a rebounder. Miles Turner is not good at rebounding at all. I mean, again, Tyrese Halliburton had 9 rebounds. Miles Turner had 2, which is also the number of games that the Pacers have to win an NBA championship. But what a great night last night for Mathurin and McConnell. Toppin, mixed reviews from me. I thought there were some questionable intellectual decisions by Toppin. Rotations, doubles, a couple of fouls were kind of questionable. There were some times I thought Toppin maybe wasn't making the smartest decision. But, man, that follow dunk was just crazy when he flew down the lane, and nobody from Oklahoma City seemed to have a care in the world about boxing anybody out. And Toppin slammed it through with his elbows above the rim. That was exciting, and that was a great play. So it's Pacers that now lead it 2-1. Let the national media know that they can't all be right all the time, or in some cases, any of the time. So game 4 is a quick turnaround. It is tomorrow night. Is that a good thing for the Pacers? I think it might be. I think it might be because I thought in the fourth quarter you looked like the Oklahoma City Thunder had gotten tired. Let's go ahead and get back out there and play. Let's not give them extra rest. And so Friday night in Indianapolis, Gainbridge Fieldhouse, the Pacers have a chance to go up 3-1 in this series against the Oklahoma City Thunder, and this is huge, huge. Hope you enjoy the rest of your week. We'll be talking to you periodically. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share the channel. You can always leave a comment, and you can ring that bell if you'd like alerts for when we have our live shows, when we have new posts. Just click the little bell, and we'll keep you up to date with what the Sports Rush with Brett Rump is doing. We'll talk to you again soon. Go Pacers!